Hello, my people. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. All right, whatever time zone you're listening to this, thank you for tuning in. I almost lost my string of thoughts there. Thank you for tuning in every single day to listen to me on Daily Mind Shift. My name is Michael Ojuola. I'm your host, all right, for Mindset Transformation Africa. Every single day, we pick one thought worth thinking deeply about, one statement, one idea worth holding tightly, one mind shift that is worth making bold, all right? And we try as much as possible to explain it. Today's idea is simple. In fact, it might sound too simple to be meaningful, but I want you to take this seriously. Let me anchor today's episode on this statement. Regardless of the perceived outcome, try to make someone laugh today. Regardless of the perceived outcome, regardless of maybe you look like a fool or what, try to make someone laugh today. That's it. Not make them understand you, not make them see your point, not make them agree with your perspective or validate your struggle. Just make them laugh. A chuckle here, a giggle there, a wheeze, a full-blown snort or laughter, if you can manage it. And if they don't laugh, that's fine, but still do it. Try to make them laugh, because laughter is not a gift you give to other people. It's a reminder that you also give to yourself. That is what I want us to think about today. See, so the question now is, Mike, what's so deep about laughter? That's the real question, right? When was the last time you really laughed? That's the question I will ask you. I'm not talking about the polite smile you give in meetings or the LOL that you typed but did not mean. I'm talking about the laughter, or the kind of laughter that surprised you. The one that rose up and grabbed you without your permission. The one that made you momentarily forget everything else that was going wrong in your life. You see, laughter is underestimated in grown-up spaces. We reserve it for children or for comedies, for when the time is right. We act all mature and all that shit. But when is the time ever right to laugh? Life doesn't schedule joy for you. You have to insert joy in all the days of your life. And sometimes you insert it by creating it for someone else. Laughter is not about the joke, okay? It is about the joy. I want us to be honest here. Most of us are not comedians. You are not Dave Chappelle. You are not Kevin Hart. You are not Basket Mouth. Do you understand me? You don't walk into the room looking for your set list and checking the mic. But here is what you are. You are a human being. You have a story. You've seen absurd things. You've survived hard days. You've had embarrassing moments. And sometimes when you share those moments with the right attitude and timing, someone else gets to breathe easier because you made them laugh. It is not about a joke, okay? It is about a connection. Laughter is not the performance of humor. It is the presence of lightness in a world that weighed down on every one of us by everything serious. And that is why I say try to make someone laugh today. Let me break this down with a little bit of science for a moment. Laughter activates the regions of the brain that is associated with pleasure, with reward, with social bonding. It lowers your cortisol, that is the stress hormone, and triggers the release of endorphins. It oxygenates the blood, it stimulates your heart, and it even helps relieve your pain. So, when you choose to introduce humor into your day or someone else's day, you are literally releasing medicine. And it doesn't need to be deep, it doesn't need to be brilliant, it just needs to be offered. What most people are dying for isn't more logic. It is relief, a break from the pressure, a pause from the pain, a breath of fresh air in a life that feels stifled. When you make someone laugh, you are not being swallowed, all right? You are just being human. That is why today's thought is phrased the way it is. Regardless of the perceived outcome, try to make someone laugh. You might try a joke and it just fall flat. You might send a meme and it get no response. You might say something goofy and they stare at you like you've got 5 heads. So what? You tried. You made an effort to lighten the room. You are bold enough to reach past the robotic autopilot of the day and say, hey, smile a little. If they did not laugh, they might laugh tomorrow. Some of them will laugh even when they got home and they remember what he said. They might walk away with a lighter heart even though they did not show it. Most people are like that. Your job is not to guarantee the result. Do you understand me? Your job is to bring light, not to control how others perceive it, but to bring it. And if you never try, you might miss the joy entirely. See, some of the deepest connections in my life personally did not begin with serious talks, even though I have a brand that says Mike is always serious. They started with silly stories, silly jokes, inside jokes here and there, harmless teasing of people, which, those shared eye rolls over randomness of life. Laughter opens the door before understanding can walk through. When people laugh with you, they drop their guards, all right? They open their hearts, they lower their walls, and sometimes that is all you need for a healing conversation to begin. So if there is someone in your life you've been trying to reach, but you cannot seem to connect with, I want you to try humor. Tell a story that reveals your own vulnerability. Poke gentle fun at a shared experience. Show them that you don't take yourself too seriously. It might just be the thing that breaks the ice and builds the bridge. Some of us, truth be told, we have forgotten how to laugh. You've been carrying so many responsibilities that you've forgotten how to laugh. You're trying to stay strong for so long, navigating stress without the breather, that you start feeling that humor feels childish. But what if it is not childish at all? What if laughter is not a break from maturity, but a sign of emotional strength? To laugh in the middle of uncertainty is not weakness, it is courage. To smile when you are unsure how life will work out, that is not denial, that is defiance against despair. I want you to try it. Start with yourself. Watch something lighthearted. Tell yourself a ridiculous story from your childhood. Laugh at your own attempts to be overtly serious or overly serious. Not everything is a crisis, okay? Not everything has to be hard. And even if everything is a crisis, humor will remind you that your spirit doesn't have to crumble. Humor will remind you that you are not broken. Let me bring this closer to home a little. Maybe you are in the office and your team looks like they've all aged 10 years in the last 10 minutes because there is a deadline that is closing in. The boss is in the mood. Everyone is hunched over, walking through stress. There is anger. There is frustration in the air. And then you say, woo, I haven't seen this much tension since my cousin tried to fry frozen chicken in hot oil with the wrapper still on, like something light. Suddenly, they look up because the conversation just shifted. One person looks at you and smirks. Another chuckles. Someone starts swapping horror cooking stories. And just like that, you did not just make people laugh. You changed the whole climate. You just look at someone's shoes and say, see, I remember when I was still walking around in these shoes looking for work. Boom, you've changed the conversation. All because you decided that joy was worth injecting into that tense moment. And that is your power. That is the power I'm giving you today. That is the power I want you to introduce to every conversation today. Let me just take this a little bit deeper as I draw this episode to a close. What if the person who most needs the laugh today is you? What if you are the one spiraling in your own head, worrying, overthinking, assuming the worst? Instead of forcing another productivity hack, can you try lightening your spirit? Put on a comedy special. Watch kids doing what kids do. Revisit your most embarrassing moment with a smile. Call that friend who always has the silliest take on life. Call that person so that you can laugh. Humor doesn't ignore problems. It gives your nervous system a chance to breathe again before trying to solve that problem. You don't need to fix everything today, but if you can learn to laugh, you will be stronger while you try to fix those things. Let me close today with this. Here's the truth I want you to go with and the mind shift. Don't underestimate your ability to be someone's bright spot today. Don't underestimate your ability to be someone's bright spot today. You don't have to preach, you don't have to fix the world, you don't have to be profound. You just have to try to make someone laugh and do it with no pressure for the outcome, okay? Because sometimes the attempt is the gift. Make space for that today. Be ridiculous if you must. Trip over your own punchline.